What is up, guys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of Just Talking To. And today we have one of three members of the Grief Burrito Podcast. Hazza, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm all right, mate. Thanks for having us on.
Good stuff. That's a nifty looking studio thing you've got in the background there.
It's one of. I'm in one of my businesses.
Oh, one of, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're a coffee connoisseur as well, aren't you?
Yeah, and this is a clothes shop that I run. So I just thought it's a nice place to record because I couldn't do it at home today. So it's just got like a nice fancy mirror in the background. So.
It is a fancy mirror. I mean, I didn't know. It looks like you're sort of standing. Are you standing?
No, I'm sat down.
Oh, you sat down. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, not just a pretty face and podcaster. You're a businessman as well.
Yeah, many pies. I like pies.
Yeah. Well, it's good. It's good to have your hands in many pies. Congratulations on all the businesses, but we're here to talk about Grief Burrito, the podcast, I think.
Yeah.
Which I've only really heard of about. I think I started speaking to you about a month or.
Yeah, it was something like
so
that.
ago, maybe a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
I've tried listening to them from the beginning, and I've listened to not the last episode, but the one before that. I haven't got to the last one just yet.
The E3 one.
Yeah, well, the one before that was E3 as well, wasn't it? It was review.
Yeah, we did like something we were looking forward to seeing. So things that we were hoping were going to be there, and then the follow up to that was what we did see and what we thought of what's coming out and the surprises that we saw on there.
Yeah, so that's the one I've got to look forward to. I listened to the review one. So the first question I want to ask is, obviously there's three of you. Or is there two of you? Is it a two man or is it a three man?
It's hard. So I started it initially with Jono. So that was the Grief Burrito podcast. But on the Grief Burrito YouTube channel, we have Jordan, who's our editor. So that's Jordan Shenton. Right. But he's been guesting on Grief Burrito podcast with us. Yeah, because Jono's away at the moment. He's unable to record. So he's been on the last 3 episodes and we recorded one today as well. I
mean, for an editor, he stands up pretty well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, he's a good lad. I've known him for quite a while. But yeah, he's a great video editor. And when he had a YouTube channel previously called 3 Extra Guys, I actually came on to his couple of his episodes there as well.
So he's the third wheel at the minute on your show, but you were the third wheel on his show.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like a decent deal. So how did you all meet? How did you all meet? Like, did you meet at the same time? Was it? I think I've heard you say on one of them. Was it a college or something or a university?
Yeah, I went to video game university doing game design, which was about 3 years ago. And Jono was actually on my course. He was one of the programmers that I met first because I'm an artist and designer. Yeah. But he's very much more. He's like Neo, like he sees in code. He's fucking great. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear on this podcast.
It's all right. It's well, I've got a beeper, so we'll just beep it out if it gets too much. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, I know what to expect.
To stifle it. So I met him on the podcast. At college initially, and then once we left, we were working on games together. We had an indie studio called Iron Spark, and we worked on a VR game called The Red Road, which is still currently being worked on slowly, but we're getting there because we all work in other jobs as well. And we just sort of stayed really good friends after that, and we chatted that much crap that we decided, we should probably start a podcast.
I think everyone. I mean, when I went to uni, I think you end up with your group of mates, and especially at uni and when you're living in halls or your university housing or whatever. I think everyone comes to that point where you just think, how funny would it be just to record everything we talk about?
Yeah, because
that the sort of thing it was?
It was, yeah. Especially when you've been and had a couple of beers after uni and that. Yeah. Because we went to night uni, so we finished. Our classes finished at 10 p.m. So we'd sort of gravitate straight towards the pub, and then split off from there. So some of the stuff we used to talk about was insane. So we just thought it might be quite entertaining just to see. So we initially did it like episode 0, which is actually on the podcast already. Yeah,
I've heard that one.
You can see that, and that's one where we just thought, right, I had a mic line about at home because I do music as well. So I just thought, we'll just try it and see how it goes. And we came up with the name Grief Burrito on that episode. It was just sort of on the fly, and it just kind of stuck. So we went on from there.
Yeah, so, I mean, that leads into the next question anyway, the name. I did catch it, and I think it must have been in that episode 0, where it said Grief Burrito. But obviously, at the time, when you're first watching it, it's already called Grief Burrito. So I did wonder, if that was just sort of like you snuck it in, or that was an accidental.
No, it was just a random thing on the spot. But what I did was I recorded an intro for that episode.
Yeah.
So we recorded the episode first, and then I went out afterwards and recorded the intro, and then made all the logos and stuff. Yeah. And then we posted it up like that. But it just came from when you're really, really down and nothing else will cheer you up. Sometimes a burrito and a big piece of food does cheer you up. So that was a Grief Burrito.
Yeah, well, that's a fair point. I mean, and also you've got a cafe or restaurant or whatever. What is it?
No, I have a clothes shop.
It's a coffee shop, isn't it? So maybe you should open a burrito shop.
Yeah, I'd love to. I really, really would. I'd do a Grief Burrito. I would brand it all with that.
I mean, you've already got the branding and all that. So it's
all game. We actually know someone who owns a pizza place. It's an underground pizza restaurant, and underneath that, so this is now 2 floors underground, is a secret cocktail bar with retro arcade machines.
Yeah.
So I'd love to do a burrito shop with all retro arcade machines, like a gaming style cafe. That'd be amazing.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
and you're not too far from me, as we've discussed.
I'm near Manchester. It's a place called Knutsford.
Yeah, with the services. Yeah, I remember saying.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
like where I'm from originally, I'm from down south originally, and we don't really have any sort of burrito places or Mexican places. I'm sure they do down south at some point, but where I'm from, the Isle of Sheppey, they don't have anything like that. And when I moved up here, they've got like one of my favourite places. Well, mine and my missus was Bar Burrito, which I don't know.
That's pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty damn good as far as it goes.
That's the first Mexican-ish sort of place I'd ever been to, and I was blown away by it. So I wouldn't say I was unhappy, but I would say that it lit my life up a bit more than it already was.
Oh, they definitely do. They will cheer you up.
I completely agree with you on that. Yeah.
So if you're ever in Manchester, this is a shout out to my favourite burrito joint. There's a place called Pancho's. And it is, even on the sign outside, it says best burritos in Manchester, and they fucking are.
Well, I'm meant to be in Manchester in December because I'm going to hopefully going to a concert, the Alter Bridge concert with Shinedown.
I might be there as well. I'm tempted to go as well. I love Alter Bridge.
I'm waiting on. I've got my son who's just finished his GCSEs, and I've said to him like I've got him mad into Shinedown, so I've said to him like, if you want, if you do well in your GCSEs, I'll take you to some concerts. And
that's a good idea. That's some good motivation.
Yeah. So he's saying at the minute he's saying he thinks he's done well. So I'm just waiting to see like. Because I think he's going to college, and if he's going to be off on the dates, because he's living down south still, so he'll come up, and we'll probably go there. I'm going with a few other people as well. So if we do see you there, if you do end up going, give us a shout and
yeah, man, we'll do a little live thing for Instagram. Yeah. We'll do that. That'll be awesome. Yeah. Wait, hang on, hold the fucking shit. Right, you said you've got a son who's doing GCSEs. How you look really young. How old are you?
I look younger than I am.
You really must do.
I mean, I'm not. I'm 35. I'm 36 this year.
You don't fucking look it, mate.
No. Well, I look even younger when I shave. I say this to people when I've got a beard, and I go, oh yeah, but they say you look young, and I'm like, well, you should see me without a beard, and they think I'm chatting. I'm like, no, but I literally look about 60. Not so much now, but only a few years back, I was like, I look school leavers. I could get away with all sorts. But yeah,
you're lucky, man. I've looked like this since I was 14. I'm not exaggerating. I was going to pubs when I was 14 getting served. It was great.
Yeah. See, but that's good because you haven't aged either then. I mean, you don't look that old.
I'll get to like 35 and I'll shave my beard, shave my head, and then hopefully I'll still look young.
Yeah. And then people will be like, what, you own 10 businesses and a burrito shop with arcade machines?
Yeah, well, that'd be fucking great.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that'll be awesome. The last thing I wanted to hit on. By the way, all of your links and that will be in the description below. And I will give you a shout when the video is released.
Thanks.
But one last thing that caught my ear in one of the last episodes I heard is that you mentioned that you were going to go all Annette Bening, Yvette Fielding, and Derek Acora. What's that all about?
Basically, we had a couple of our Patreon subscribers wanting us to go on because we've been doing a monthly paranormal episode. So we've just recorded the 4th one today, actually, which is about Spooky Burrito. Yeah, so today's was about UK UFO instances that have been happening around the area. A load which have happened in Yorkshire, 850 UFO sightings since 2008, apparently, which is insane. So that's some of the stuff we've been doing.
Yeah.
So we had some of our subscribers ask us to do a ghost hunt and stay overnight somewhere. And Knutsford is quite an old place. There's a lot of like old Edwardian Victorian halls around. So I'm trying to get us in to stay overnight in one of the locations. And the mayor for the town actually shops in my clothes shop, which is quite a nice little connection.
Yeah.
So he's trying to hook us up with getting us in somewhere. The place I was trying to get, apparently a different ghost hunting team have a contract with that place, so we're not allowed in there.
Do they stay there until they find something?
I don't know.
How does that work?
A contract. I don't know. It sounds mental. But yeah, sorry, I'm getting stared at through the window at people walking past.
All right.
Yeah. So I've managed to find another location, which is the really old courthouse in our town, which is actually the same place that Alan Turing was sentenced. If you know Alan Turing,
I think I saw you put a tweet out or something about that.
Yeah. So hopefully we're going to try and get in there, which is an incredible building. I'll send you some images if you want to throw some up on the screen or something.
Yeah.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, this one's going to work. But if not, I've got a couple of other places to try as well. If I have to pay to get us in there, I don't mind too much because it'll be some pretty cool content. It should be good fun. And then we've got Jamie coming down, who's been on a couple of the episodes as well. And he worked in film in uni, so he's going to bring his cameras down and we're going to film it as well. So it should be exciting, hopefully.
So you're the next Ghostbusters.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Without the busting, less of the busting, but
yeah, less bust. Yeah.
I'm still a bit shocked by the whole contract thing. I don't know how that would work. Like,
no, I don't even know.
Just
I don't
get
know
like a one-off. I would have thought it'd just be a one-off pass. You go, yeah, you can stay in there for a night, get what you need. That's what
I was trying to say. I was trying to say, look, we're not going to be like encroaching on your territory or anything. We just want to do a one-off night. And I found out since that there's in the building I'm in at the moment, this is a weird place anyway. We've had a lot of weird occurrences happening here, like stock moving around and shelves being pushed off and doors unlocking and locking. I found out there's a secret cellar just over to the side of me underneath the ground that leads in a tunnel that goes all the way under the road to the town square and is some secret underground bunker thing. But it collapsed the other day. Literally yesterday, the water mains burst under the road because it all collapsed into the void. So that's also shut off to me now. So all my options are like falling down, but I need to keep trying to. So.
Maybe you're getting too close to something spiritual, and they're
like
trying to push you away. You go, no, don't.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what the contract thing's about. They're like, if you go in there and you see something,
yeah, they put a hex on me. I don't know. God knows, they might have cursed me or something.
Maybe you got your hand in too many pies. Maybe maybe that's what it is. They don't want, they're like, no, he's got enough going on. Let us have the ghosts.
Yeah, let us have the ghosts. Yeah.
So see, I used to be really interested. I mean, I don't have much time for it now. I've got two younger girls now as well, so I don't really have much time for all that sort of stuff. But I'll definitely be listening to them because that's something that I really enjoy. And I work in a school that's like 120 years old or something. It's a blind school. It used to be an asylum. And people have said I've worked there for 2 years now. One during the day, and at the minute I'm doing sort of like overnighters as well because it's like residential as well. So they're I've never heard or seen anything, but I've heard lots of stories. But I think stories sort of go by, the age and that.
They do.
They've got like this old attic area that you can walk along the whole top, and it's massive. Again, I'll try and send you some pictures of the front of that. There's nothing there, but just the look of the building is quite eerie. And then, so you can walk along the top, and it's like old living quarters for nuns. There are obviously there's nothing there now. It's just like empty rooms. But there's like in one room there'll be like some random rocking chair, and there's another.
This is no nuns, no rocking chairs.
Yeah,
nope.
It just looks dead weird. Like, but I went up there. I didn't feel like weirded out or anything. It was just it looks like the front cover for a horror film. Do you know what I mean?
It does, yeah, very Stephen King.
Yeah, and there was one where, do you remember them old calendars you used to make on the school where it'd be like an A4 sheet of paper with a picture on, and then you'd have that little tiny calendar that you'd.
Yeah.
There was one of them for like something. I think it was 1939 or something like that.
No
still
way.
on the wall. So it's just little things like that make it dead eerie. But like I said, I love the building. It's got loads of character. I've never heard anything, but it is definitely one of them sort of buildings. So yeah, I will be interested in listening to the old Spooky Burrito podcast. Yeah. Maybe I'll be able to come along one time with
Yeah,
one,
definitely. That'd be
if
awesome.
you get a contract.
If I get a contract, get us signed in.
Right. So, is there anything else you wanted to talk about that's going on in the podcast before we move on to the personality questions?
I wanted to ask you about some stuff actually.
Okay.
Because I know you run through Twitch, don't you? So you're a Twitch affiliate.
I'm a Twitch affiliate. I don't do that much on Twitch anymore. I did do for a little while, but I'm mainly on YouTube now.
Right, because that was what I was interested in. I didn't know how you got started. I wanted to know like how you went in, like what were your first sort of games consoles? What made you fall in love with gaming and get into where you are now?
Hang on, this isn't the Grief Burrito.
No, I want to know some stuff too.
To be fair, I don't know. I got into it and I was literally just doing Football Manager. I don't know if you've played Football Manager or whether you're interested in Football Manager. But
the last football game I played was FIFA 98 on the N64.
Right, yeah. FIFA 98 is the best, by far, FIFA ever. The Road to World Cup with David Beckham on the front, and it had Robbie Williams as a soundtrack.
Yeah, do you know what? I still have that game.
I don't, but I wish I do. And do you know what? That was the last one I played religiously. I remember playing 90-minute matches, and scoring like 120 goals or whatever.
I always used to run out as the goalie.
Yeah,
I just used to run out as him and just win. It was great.
It was an easier time in FIFA. I think now you've got to be too skilled and it's not as fun. But yeah, so I started watching YouTubers play Football Manager, and then I thought, well, I can do that. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
So that's what I got into YouTube doing, and then I moved from YouTube to Twitch. Not moved, but started doing both because I found out about Twitch, and then the thing with Twitch is it's just a matter of start, record, stop. There's not really much you can do unless you've got like the what they called, the one thing with the buttons that do all the fancy stuff. I can't remember what it's called now.
Like a trigger box kind of thing.
Yeah. But which I don't have. So I missed like the editing and all that about it. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's something I enjoy. Like if you like on our podcast, if you've heard it, we edit a lot in. So we put a lot of sound effects in, music, and that sort of stuff. Like I've never used Twitch. We only use YouTube, and that's mainly the reason why, because we like to edit stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing I missed. Like I mean, next weekend I'm doing 2 hours on Twitch. Our time, it'll be I think it's 8 o'clock on Saturday and 7 o'clock on Sunday, and we're doing this indie-thon. So it's like thing they're doing it in America as well. So we've got two of us starting it over here, and then like the first guy will obviously raid me, and then because you know what raiding is, where all your viewers pass over to another streamer. So he'll raid me, and then I'll raid someone in America, and then they'll raid. I think there's about 10 to 12 streams going on that day, and then the next day it starts again, and it's basically just like a load of streamers playing new indie games and games that haven't really been released yet, and just sort of helping the indie developers out and getting their names out there and stuff.
That sounds brilliant. That sounds really good. Going through even just, I've not been on Twitter that long. I use it for a couple of my business stuff, but I've really been pushing it for Grief Burrito. And
Twitter's the best.
It's amazing
thing.
For the game community. It really is.
Yeah.
Like, we used
for podcasts
for our
and stuff.
studio. Yeah, and for podcasts. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I've made a lot of good friends and people who've had on and stuff. So
yeah, I don't think people, especially new people, realise the importance of Twitter when you're trying to get out there. And you don't. I was saying this to the guy who's the guy who's Just Talking To comes out on tomorrow. I was saying this on that episode, that Twitter, like when you get on it, you think, I just want to expand my horizon, but then you start talking to people from like America and Finland, and and all of a sudden you're talking, worldwide, right? I mean, I'm not saying not a massive worldwide, but just having one person in a country who's talking about you maybe to their friends, you're broadening your horizon a hell of a lot more than just word of mouth in England. Do you know what I mean? So it is really massive thing. But so that's how I got started. I started on Football Manager, and I've ended up sort of in indie games and things like that. So,
I mean, some of the indie games that are coming out at the moment are so original and brilliant concepts design-wise. Like speaking strictly from a game design point of view, because I find myself now being very not critical of games, but I sort of examine what's being done and thinking, oh, I wonder how they've done that. And then you see how they've designed each part to get to that stage.
Yeah.
And just even from that standpoint, it's amazing some of the stuff you're seeing currently. Really
I played a game yesterday. I played it from start to finish. I just couldn't stop. It's only a 3-hour game, but Brothers, it's called. A Tale of Two Sons.
Yeah.
Such a good game. Like I was like shock or, but I did it to I recorded it because I'm doing it on someone else's channel. So you know, it's sort of like I'm helping his channel out and he helps me. And he was the one that did the original Just Talking, and he sort of asked me to branch out with Just Talking too. So, but that was an indie game, and that was like Fable. Do you know what I mean? Which was a massive.
It feels
game.
very similar. Yeah.
And the mechanics of it was just incredible. You know, just having to use. But have you played it or?
Yeah, I've not played all of it yet. It's my dad actually played it, and he was like, "You've got to play this game. It's amazing." So I had a quick go at his, because my dad's a massive gamer as well.
Yeah.
He was the one who like bought all the consoles when I was a little kid and brought them home, and it sort of passed on from there. So yeah, he said it's very, very good, but he says it's very emotional. I don't want to give anything away in case it spoils it, but he said it's very like.
If you haven't got that far, it's a bit like, I played another game like Old Man's Journey that was a bit emotional at the end as well.
My girlfriend's just got that. Yeah, she says it's really cool.
Yeah, and that's only another short little game, but again, at the end, I got the feels. Like I was like, oh no.
Yeah. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Yeah. So okay, is that all you would like to know, or?
Yeah, I think so far. I don't want to hijack your podcast so much.
It's all good. I feel a bit like Step Brothers, you know, where he's like, we'll interview you.
Yeah.
Right, so okay, we'll move on to the 3 personality questions then, right? So this can go good, bad, embarrassing, whatever, right? So this Snog, Marry, Avoid, you know what that is.
All right.
The Americans don't tend to know what it is, but I know you will because you're English.
Yeah.
So we've got a number of people, sets of 3 people. Numbered 1 to 553. So if you pick one number between 1 and 553, and I'll give you the 3 names, and you've got to Snog, Marry, Avoid them.
Okay.
Go for it.
Let's see. 286.
286. How close to the middle is that? How many people do you reckon actually do that? Go straight to the middle.
Oh no, actually, can I change it?
Yeah.
Sorry, can I give you a different one? Yeah. 273, because I've just watched The Shining. And that's the room number, isn't it?
So 273. Do you like football?
It's 237. I've messed it up. Never mind.
No, okay. We'll go 237. We'll go 237. It's okay. I haven't seen it for a long time. 237.
Yeah.
237 is okay. Well, this is a very interesting one.
Oh.
They're all male.
Okay.
But they're not
sexy. Jono's gonna love this. They're not real.
Well, they're film stars. Well, they're characters.
Film characters. Okay.
So it'd be quite fun. So you've got Han Solo. Hannibal Lecter.
All the hands.
And Hellboy. So I don't know if you can think of it however you want. You can think of it as the characters. You can think of it as the actors. I guess if you prefer the actors.
Yeah.
Whatever way you wanna.
Harrison Ford, I'm named after, so this could be weird.
Oh.
Okay. Hannibal Lecter. Right. Okay. I think I've got it. So Snog, Marry, Kill, yeah?
You can. Well, I normally Snog, Marry, Avoid, or Kiss, Marry, Kill, whatever you wanna.
Okay.
Depend how forgiving you are.
I'm gonna do Kiss, Marry, Kill. I'm firm with this. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd kiss Han Solo because beautiful man. Everyone loved him. Everyone loved him back in the day. It's gone a bit asymmetrical now, but never mind. We won't get into that.
No.
Hannibal Lecter.
We'll just do it as Han Solo back in the day.
Okay, yeah. Original Han.
Yeah.
Original Han. Hannibal Lecter, I'd marry.
For the mind?
No, for the cooking. Oh, right. Fine Chianti. No?
Good answer. just keep your head on. Like keep wear a hat. Yeah,
to make sure to observe the steaks that he's cooking.
Yeah.
And then Hellboy, I'd probably have to kill him because, I mean, he's bringing about apocalypses, isn't he, and all that, left, right, and centre.
There is that, and obviously, he's not the best looking one out of the three either, is he?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, he's proper hench, but
Yeah.
it's not my kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not into bears.
Okay, so that's good. So we're kissing Han Solo,
Yep.
marrying Hannibal Lecter, not for the brain, for your brain, for you.
Yeah.
And killing Hellboy. Okay, right, great stuff. That was an entertaining one. How would you describe yourself in 3 words? And that's 3 single words. So like, when I've been saying it before to a few of the Americans, they've been thinking I meant 3 consecutive words to describe themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Like a short sentence. Yeah. So we're gonna
just
do
3 single words. Yeah.
In
fact, let's make this more interesting. How would your co-hosts describe you in 3 words?
Oh, okay. All right. Probably still tall, because I hit my head on a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Hungry. And
hungry.
Rambly.
Okay. So,
tall, hungry, rambly.
So essentially you're an ogre.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay. Tall, hungry and rambly. Okay,
yes.
that's another interesting one. Right, the third and final question is, before we move on to the shout-outs, is you've got 2 games for the rest of your life. You can't play anything else, just these 2 games for the rest of your life.
Now that is a question, isn't it? And why? Ah, fuck. What would I play? I'm tempted to say, I find that shooters can keep you hooked for a while. If I could get the next DLC, I'd say Titanfall 2 for a shooter. Okay. It's one of my favourite shooters. And let's say
that's an original one. We've never had that before.
Yeah. No, it's a very. If you've not played it, honestly,
I've not played it. No.
Get it for like £6 now. Yeah, honestly, it's really good. And I'd probably say Breath of the Wild.
Another one I've not played. I've heard of that. Where have I heard of that?
It's the new Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, I think that's where I've heard of it. I've heard of it on your podcast.
Oh, really? And that's the only time, dude.
Do you know what? I think I've had this conversation with before about Nintendo. For some reason, I've never wanted or had a Nintendo. I've had Sega Master System. I've had Mega Drives. I've had even Commodores and Amigas back in the day.
Wow.
PlayStations, Xboxes. But for some reason, I've just never had a Nintendo. And my brother, he's got this Switch, and he keeps every time I go around, he's like, "Do you want to play Mario Kart?" And I'm like, I just literally, I don't know what it is, but I've never really got on with it.
I feel an aversion to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I remember I had a mate who used to have the N64. You know, when the old Rumble pack that used to have you got a set button you put on the back of the control.
Thing, yeah.
And he had 007, and everyone went mad for that. And even now, people go, "Oh, that was one of the best." You know, GoldenEye, one of the best games on Nintendo. And I was like, I just couldn't get into it, and I don't know why. I don't know what I've got against Nintendo. I've just never really wanted or felt the need to play it. So
I think with Nintendo, one of the things that always drew me to it was the amount of what you call this is literally a term that people use in the games industry, and it's Nintendo polish, and it just means the amount further that they go with polishing the game, even just to really. There's a video called Game Juice, if you've ever heard of that.
No.
Which is about how you spice up gameplay for the feedback to the player. Yeah. I'd highly recommend watching that. I'll send you the link, and then you can check it out.
I'll put it in the link. I'll put it in the description as well for anyone else who wants to see it as well.
Yeah. Because this will be something that people may be interested in, looking at game design or wanting to get into making games or anything. It's the amount of feedback that you give the player, and everything bounces and squishes and squashes and shines, and I don't know. It's just I like Nintendo for that reason, and it's just kind of stuck with me. Really has. I've got a Switch right in my bag right now.
Yeah, I think I don't disagree with people. You know, I'm not like, well, you can't like Nintendo. I just for some reason I think it might be graphical as well. Like it just always seems to be aimed at children, if you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying. I do. I get that. I do get that. I understand.
But even as a child, I still didn't want to play it. But that's how I look at Nintendo. It just seemed it doesn't really. I mean, the Switch has got some obviously big time games now, but they're normally a lot of them are made by other developers, aren't they? They're not actually made from.
They are, yeah.
Nintendo.
A lot of Nintendo in-house games, and I think this comes from being a Japanese developer. They tend to go for a lot more stylized graphic style. So if you look at stuff like, remember like Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, like it's all cell shaded and cartoony. That it's essentially just because it's inspired by Japanese anime, kind of really. So they just tend to do a lot more stylistic approaches as opposed to photorealism, which is nothing wrong with photorealism. They do it sometimes. They do it with the Metroid Prime games, which were some of my favorite games, which I hope they'll come out with again, and in remasters this next couple of years. But yeah, it just seems like they always do stylistic stuff, which I quite like though, because I'm an artist. Like I do that kind of stuff, so I kind of like bright colors and unusual styles. So yeah.
See, again, my it's like Pokemon. My brother was mad into Pokemon. Even my kid, he likes Pokemon when the older one now. When he was younger, and he's into his anime now. And I've tried getting into anime. I just don't. I can't do it.
Some's not very good. Yeah, there's a lot of. Some of it's hard. If I can suggest one for you,
I tried watching that Death Note.
Yeah, I'm not. I couldn't get into that.
No, I got about 3 episodes in. And I was like, but someone said to me that was one of the better ones.
Try One Punch Man.
Honestly. One Punch Man. I've heard a lot about. I've seen the YouTube videos of the workouts and stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of people doing that at the minute. It sort of takes the piss out of other anime programs for like the tropes that they always hit, the story points they always hit, and it just completely flips it. It's just really cool. Yeah, it's really.
And it's weird that I don't like them as well, because I love like American Dad and Family Guy and Rick and Morty and all them sort of adult cartoons. I just don't. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe I'm just closed-minded with it. I don't know. I will try that One Punch Man, because you're not the first person that said that. But
it all takes that first slippery stone that slides you down the slope. I think you'll find something that you like, and then it'll lead into it. For me, it was actually Attack on Titan. I started watching that, and it's a very serious program. It's not like there's no funniness to it. It's like Game of Thrones, but a cartoon. Like it's pretty. It's pretty dark.
That might be something that might. See, but I think that's it as well. It's a bit of depressing. That bit of realism.
That's what you need.
That might break the camel's back. But what was my son was saying? Is it Tokyo Ghost of something in Tokyo?
Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah, he said that was another.
Friends of mine watched that. I've not watched that yet.
No, so that's another one that I've got to apparently give a watch. So I will definitely try, but I just I don't know what it is with Nintendo. It's just for some reason out of all the computers I've ever had, never had a Nintendo. I just don't know why.
Right. You'll have to get a GameCube. Get a not so far retro, but still a bit back to the golden days, I'd say.
Maybe I'll have to give that a go. Yeah. Okay, so before we say our goodbyes, we can have 3 to 5, 4 if you like, shout outs of people you want to say a special, people who might maybe have supported you or helped you along your way, or whatever reason you want to give them a shout out.
Yeah, man. I mean, I know you said you're into your paranormal stuff before, so this is something you might be interested in personally. Actually, there's a podcast that I actually discovered them on. It was on Instagram. They put a picture up, and it was very similar to the cover of a novel that I'm working on, and they're called the Nightgeist Podcast, and they are the most hilarious girls. I absolutely love them. I adore them. I really do. So the Nightgeist Podcast. They're from LA. One of them's from LA, and one of them's just outside of LA. And it's just the most hilarious comedy paranormal podcast I've found. Yeah. It's just
is it night, as in night?
Nightgeist. Nightgeist.
Geist. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
That is one of my weekly listens. Every week I will not miss my episode of Nightgeist. It's that much fun. Yeah. Whether I'm making my breakfast or whatever, I'll always listen to it. Yeah. And I'm even a member of their Patreon now.
All right. So
yeah, so they get extra stuff. Yeah. Really
and they get a shout out as well. So
yeah.
Well done, girls.
They give us a shout outs as well. They've helped us out a lot too. Yeah. Another one is the Ronin Geek podcast, which are a load of guys from Ontario. Shout out to the Ontario listeners. I don't know if you've listened to a couple of the episodes. We keep finding we have a massive pocket of listeners in Canada. I don't know why, just particularly in Ontario, and that's where
they're a strange breed in Canada. But you gotta love them. I that's for some reason I would love to live in Canada. I don't know why, but if I could elope, I would go to Canada. I don't know if it's because everyone's supposed to be dead nice, and they
I don't know. It seems like
unless they're playing ice hockey, they're not nice then.
Maybe, unless then they get some serious. Or if you start trying to steal the maple syrup from the trees, they're not a fan of that. There was a big train heist, wasn't there? Did you hear about
that? If I ever go, I'll leave the maple syrup alone.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. Yeah, but I like the thought that this is the second time maple syrup has come up in 2 days. By the way, we were talking about this before, that you can literally drink it out of the tree, like straight out of the tree.
Okay.
Like, how fucking weird is that?
Well,
it's amazing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know if I would.
Hey,
see what I did there? I said would because it's tree. That was completely
If you were
accidental.
strolling through the woods with your pancake, you've got a little plate of pancakes and you're wandering through and there's a little tap sticking out of a tree. You cannot say you wouldn't twist that bad boy and get some maple syrup on a pancake.
That's the thing, though. It's not a tap, is it?
I think it is. I think there actually is a little
tap trees like they do with kegs.
It's just like it is the sap that comes out the tree. That's maple syrup.
Okay, so do we have it in this country? We just don't choose not to drink it. Obviously, we don't have maple.
We don't have those
trees.
trees. Yeah, we don't have those trees.
No, but we have trees with sap. Can we not drink that sap?
I don't think our trees are very good. They're full of bile and sickness.
Oh, okay. This is the most fun I've had on one of these so far.
Oh, good.
Okay,
man. I'm good.
So that's two. The Ontario guys.
Yes, the guys from the Ronin Geek podcast. I love those guys.
Send us some maple syrup and pictures of your kegs, your taps in trees.
Yeah, Alex Austin, if you're listening, get us some pictures of trees. Prove it that I'm not wrong. Otherwise, I'm ferociously wrong in every piece of information I'm giving. And the third person I'd like to give a shout out to is the Shart Select podcast as well.
I've heard that. Shart Select. Yeah. I think I've heard that.
They're on Twitter as well. I've been sharing a couple of their posts. They're another local podcast. They're from literally 5 minutes from where I live. Like, I've probably bumped into them in the street. Yeah. And they're another gaming podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool. So them links will be in the description. Sorry, I'm just trying to play myself.
That's all right. I thought you'd dropped off your seat or something.
No, I was picturing them with the new paper McDonald's straws in the trees.
Oh, right. Yeah. yeah. Just suck it straight out. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how long the paper straws will last.
Not that long.
Okay, I guess we'll leave it there. I think we've run over a little bit, but it's been a lot of fun, so it's all good. Thank you for coming. You've been absolutely incredible, and keep up the good work in all of your areas, I guess.
Thank you. You too. And if you're ever around this area, stop in. I'll get you a nice coffee. We'll get it sorted. Yeah. Sounds like a plan. One last question, actually. I wanted to ask, what's with the 3 birds? The 3 birds? What, on the coffee?
Yeah. Why is it 3 birds? What's that? Where does the name come from?
The 3 birds actually comes from what I found was one of my family shields, because I was looking up the lineage of my surnames, because my surname's Wild, which is quite unusual for the way it's spelt, and the other side of my family is Oliver, which comes from Olafia, which is from Sweden or Norway, and they have 3 crows on their shield. 3 black birds, which I thought was really cool. So then I used it for the logo for the coffee, which is a 3 birds. So it was crow, rook, and raven, which are the 3 big black birds that we get in the UK. Just thought it was a nice little link.
Crow, rook, raven.
Yeah, crow, rook, and raven coffee.
Coffee. Awesome. Okay. See, there's a story behind everything, guys.
Yeah, try and get a nice little bit of lineage behind it. Like lore.
Yeah. You're a gamer. You've got to enjoy lore, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will leave it there. Thank you for coming again, sir. If you've enjoyed the video, guys, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future. And if you want to hit us up in the comments, feel free. I will be checking through the comments. And if Hazza wants to have a look in the comments in case there's someone asking about your shows or your coffee or your ghost hunting or your clothes or... anything, you can obviously reply to them as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Thank you very much for coming, Hazza, and I will catch you all later. Peace out, guys.
See you guys.